trouble for everything. So I got kicked off of Facebook. I can't do Facebook Lives. And that was my commitment to go live every day. So here I am on YouTube Live. And I wanted to ask a question about what your lessons are this week. As I am sifting through, well, I kind of was reflecting on May. I can't believe how fast everything's moving, right? We're in June. The summer is here. The winter's going to be here before we know it. Fall. It's like, I don't know. I feel like I'm on a trajectory that I've never been on before. Things are moving at such a rapid pace. One of the things that I was reflecting on is something that my trainer said. I have a new trainer. And I said, well, why is it so hard on me? Because we did some sprinting like I just did. And I was doing it for a minute where I was running hard. And he said, well, you're not doing enough cardio. And I said, I walk every single day. I'm on my walk now. And he said, that's not cardio. I was so angry. And I am angry that he even said that. But there's probably truth in it because I'm not pushing myself out of my comfort zone. I love walking. It feels good. It's easy. I mean, it makes my body tight, but I really enjoy it. So I'm not sure how to process and navigate that trigger other than saying, I'm going to keep walking and then maybe I'll put a little sprinting. Like it is green right now. So when I pass the street, maybe I'll pick up and run for a minute. Well, not a whole minute, but I just ran across the street. So I'm picking up my pace. The other thing I was reflecting on are all the triggers that I've been faced with lately and how grateful I am for not acting on them. That is the key for me about the triggered movement that I have created with the book and the 6-week course and my podcast is that I really believe that my triggers can serve me in a spiritual way if I can let them. If I can step away from my life and stop judging it and start embracing the parts of myself that are stretched and challenged, the parts of myself that want to react, and just hold my little girl's hands and be okay and not judge that certain things don't always match up and align with what I feel and think. And that's okay. It's okay. And maybe I'm not happy about it in the moment, but I will say that when I don't take action and I sit with myself and I feel everything, and whether it's crying or laughing or the emotions that come up, they're real and I feel them. And I just don't take action. That's the number one tool for me. Learning the triggers, practicing triggers, and teaching triggers. It's all about not acting when I'm triggered. So for me, I've had some emotional things come up. I am juggling a lot. And yesterday was a big day. I have an Airbnb and I know they're first world problems. And that's what I remind myself of too. I have food, I have a place to sleep. Nothing is life threatening right now. So why does my body react that way? Because at some point when I was little, that's how it felt. My mom was alcoholic. My dad was unavailable emotionally. There were points in my childhood, my stepmom, woof. So my sister. So I had a child that made me think I was in survival. And I haven't quite relieved and released all of that nervous system static. So when something happens, my body responds in a way that doesn't always match what's going on, which is why it's so valuable to stop, challenge, choose, to take a sober second and to sit with myself. Because when we're little, I mean, God bless all of you who are folks out there who can sit with your kids when they're having an emotional overwhelm and be present with them through it and not react and not try to fix them and not try to stop them from feeling emotions. It's just how most of us were raised. Shh, don't feel that. Check your- So for me, this journey is all about paying attention to how this hurts, how it feels, what I wish were different, and sitting with it for a while. Like, I'm not one who's going to want to swim for a long time in those negative emotions and that sadness and the grief of what I wished it would have been. Excuse me. You know, I've been practicing Dr. Joe Dispenza's work for 3 years almost. I'm going to go to my fifth event of Dr. Joe Dispenza. If you've never been, he gathers about 2,500 people. He has these week-long events where you meditate for 36 hours a day. And one of the meditations is at 4 in the morning for 5.5 hours. Sounds brutal. Well, I wanted to go meditate with the monks. And I thought, well, fortunately, I have the abundance and the freedom not to go to a place where it's uncomfortable. So I'll just go to the 5-star resorts that he books and meditate with all the beautiful people from all around the world. And, it took, I think, 4 meditations before I really broke through. I am grateful that I meditate every single day. I think that is the missing tool for so many people. If I could get everyone to meditate, I would. And what that means to me, meditation is sitting with your own voice, listening, just tuning in with compassion and empathy, and being really present with yourself. Because most people are in a race, right? We're such a hurry. I think slow is the new fast. When I slow down and I sit with myself and I get present and I really feel into my body, which is what Dr. Joe's work teaches, of what I really want to manifest, things start to come to me. Surprises show up, magic shows up. So a lot of people haven't really done that, what it is that they want to feel. They just know what they want. So, what do you want to feel when you are at your 10 physically, mentally, and financially? What's it feel like to be freedom, security? What's it feel like to have the things that you are striving for by going to work every day and doing something that some people don't even like? What do you actually want to feel from being in the hustle? What is the experience? And when you start to master that, and when you get wealthy, which you will eventually if you keep at it, then you'll be happy. Which, just here's a question for everybody. How many people do you know that have a lot of material wealth but are spiritually bankrupt? I know a few, especially in Florida. I have noticed that there's a lot of elderly people or more mature people who haven't quite gotten clear on what they actually want to feel. What do you want to feel when you are free financially? I can tap into freedom, but joy. How about security? What's it feel like to have your financial health handled, where you don't have to look at the bills and get sad about paying them? You're excited because you can't pay them. What if you started doing that? The next time you pay a bill, you got joyful. They talked about that in The Secret. The Secret was a movie released a long time ago. And if you haven't seen The Secret, wow, is it ever good? May I introduce you to The Secret by Rhonda Byrne? The book is incredible, and it just taps into imagining your life beyond your wildest dreams. And that's what Dr. Joe has you do. So, I'm going to Dr. Joe's events. This is I think it's my fifth one I'm going to. This one's shorter. It's only 4 days. I want to go to the 10-day. He has a 10-day. And look, this isn't a vacation. It's a deep dive. That's how I look at it. When you meditate, you're taking your focus off everything outside of yourself. And for a change, you're going inside. How much time during the day are you spent thinking on social media? Are you focused on problems, issues, challenges, urgency? And what if You just took an hour, 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes at night to sit in silence, to breathe. Hold it at the top and let it out. So if you did box breathing, so that's four breaths in. I like to squeeze down here and imagine light coming from my base chakra into my heart. And you do four of those where you count to four, hold it at the top, count to four, let it out, count to four, and then be breathless to the count of four. When you focus on your breath, you'll notice that you aren't thinking because you're focused on your breath. And this is a good practice to start teaching how you can start creating with your focus. And you are creating. Most people are just unconscious about what they're creating. And then when they create things they don't want, they want to blame other people. But the truth is, if you really took over a second, stopped acting out when things aren't working, and start creating with your heart and your mind and the energy that you do have, start putting it in the future because reality is an acquired taste. And if you're not happy with what you're living, okay, many people aren't. Go into the future of what you'd like to feel and just do it a couple times a day. Do it intentionally and see what or if that changes anything. You do it for 30 days. Is it possible that you have a new experience, that you have a new awareness, that something might shift in your life and you might start attracting things that you want? If you get away from those things that you don't want and thinking about all those things, because most people don't understand. This is the evolution. I unplug from the things and the people that are not much, and I play the little things and the people and the opportunities that I do very much. And sometimes it doesn't feel great because I've had to pull out of people and things that filled a lot of space, but they weren't necessarily in my highest and best good. And that is the hard moment for most people, to be present in the silence of the in between. Dr. Joe calls it the void. I don't know if you're familiar with what the void is. Uh, the void to me is being in the void of the unknown. He has you go into space and connect with what you don't know, what you can't see, what you're unaware of, what is coming in for you. That could be in the field, depending on the frequency you tap into. Or what if that is what it's like? That you tap into a frequency of love, joy, gratitude, and all of a sudden, those things come to you. Or you start tapping into anger, fear, resentment, the news, politics, and all of a sudden things start showing up around you that match that. Have you noticed that? I have. Even TV shows that I watch, once you get really tuned in, once you start practicing this daily, where you're sitting with yourself in silence, breathing, centering, releasing, spending time just with you, slowing down long enough to let your life catch up with you, the things that you have been focused on. If you are someone who loves and gives and continues to be that life force in your life that you're so grateful for, what if you slowing down every day and giving time to yourself, the self care of self awareness by sitting in silence and just being present with your own body? Oh, the breath is so curative. For me, can you breathe with me right now? Let's do it together. Hold it at the top. Give it a sound. I like to hum. Humming is good for me. It makes me happy. So I have a very bad connection, it says. I'm going to let this one go. I had fun spending today with you. Thank you for so much for tuning in. It's a blessing to be able to push a button and to drop in with other humans from around the world. Blessings, and thank you so much for being here.